We've been talking about this a long time, right? The Icom 9700. Right here in video, just for you guys. Let's open it up, fire it up, and even make a contact on it. Here we go.
HamRadioConcepts. The place to come for amateur radio videos.
So first and foremost, thank you again to the people at Gigaparts, my buddies over there. I shop there. I love the place. They let me borrow this. They said, Eric, show your fans. Show everybody this radio. Let us know what you think about it. Get excited about it. Here I am. I'm excited about it. I don't need to tell anybody about this. I've showed you the video in Orlando Hamcation with Icom. I was very excited about this radio. This is something serious. I hope to answer a lot of the questions that I got in the comments from the Orlando video. We're going to walk through this video and show you and just make a contact on here what this radio is about and why it's such a big deal and how it's different than your dual band Bofeng or Kenwood or even your dual band Icom. If you got an Icom 5100, this right here is way beyond that, okay? This is D-Star. This is all mode, AM, FM, sideband, CW, satellite, EME, moon bounce, and more. We're going to show you that, and in the future, I want you to leave comments in this video. In the future, I want to talk about different things that you request, like scope settings and using this thing for satellite. Yes, I am going to use this for satellite. Yes, I do have an EME antenna waiting outside. We're going to get into that in future videos. For now, I want to show you about this radio now that it's on my desk. So if you look at it from the front, it's looks exactly the same as the 7300. This doesn't replace the 7300, but it adds to it. And we're going to talk about the bands and all that. But looking at it, it shouldn't be that much different for you to navigate right through this thing because the menu structure is the same. But if you've never touched a 7300 and this interests you, this will be very easy. I haven't cracked the manual. I didn't do that on the 7300 video, and I'm not going to do that on this video. I want to see how I can walk through this without being at the Icom booth in Orlando and see if I can get this thing working. But then in future videos, as I said, we'll touch on different things. So the big thing about this is you see that the buttons are almost the same. A couple differences is with the dual receiver here. It is a tri-band, but with a dual receiver, you have independent volume controls and squelch controls and RF gain controls for both the main band and the sub band. So let's turn this thing on and get into it. On the back of the radio, though, is a little different than the 7300. You do have 3 independent antenna jacks, and for a very good cause. So this is a VHF, UHF, SHF radio, being that it's VHF 2 meters, UHF 440, and 1.2 gigahertz 1296 SHF. So a regular SO239 for your 2 meter antenna, a type N for your UHF 440 antenna, and a type N for a 1296 1.2 gigahertz. 3 different sockets, and that's good because for me, I would have my 2 meter 13 element Chris Craft on here. I would have a 36 element UHF antenna, which is sitting outside right now on this antenna port. And on this one, I'll have to figure out what I would use for 1.2 gigahertz, but the options are plenty there. Also, you have a LAN port. This is a Ethernet port here that will handle remote control of this radio completely separate of having a PC for a server. The server is built into the radio. Simply plugging this into a router will give you the option to use the RS software, can't think of what the name is, remote control software, the RS BA1V2, I think it is, right here. So you don't have to have a computer running that software. Just plug it in here and operate it remotely to capture the contest weekends and moon bounce or whatever else you want to work. Accessory port here, a USB port here. Also, you have a key jack, of course, your CIV remote jack external speakers for both A and B band. So if you want your A to be on one speaker, your B to be on the other, you can do it right here. And of course, a standard power jack here. So a little different on the back though, being that it's got the LAN port, and also the upgrades can happen right over the LAN port as well. Now, this is going to be a game changer for the hobby. Let me tell you why. This is not only for a analog VHF repeater. A lot of people have said, oh, I can get a dual band for $100. Why would I want this? No. This is an SDR. I'm going to show you some of the features of this and why it's so important. Now, also another game changer is, check this out. All the different modes. Yes, you have sideband on VHF and UHF and 1.2 gigahertz. AM, CW, yes, you can do Morse code on 2 meters. Yes, you can do AM. That's where it all started before they had FM and sideband. How about RTTY? Yes, you can do RTTY, FT8, PSK, Hellschreiber, all kinds of digital modes on 2 meters and 70 centimeters and 1.2 gigahertz. It's all here. Imagine if everybody had one of these and all of a sudden you hear a lot of action on 2 meter AM or contest days. There's more than just people on Simplex calling for contacts, right? It's here in this radio. Now you may be looking at this and seeing 2 frequencies. Let me go back here. This is dual receiver. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay, so dual receiver. So you have a main band, VFOA, and a sub band. Now you can independently control each of those. So you have a volume knob for VFOA here, volume knob for VFOB. You have your own independent squelch and RF gain for each one, and you can manipulate each one here as well. Now what that's good for? Well, let's say you're one of those that's really an active contester and you're running one frequency on here for sideband action, way down here at the 436, 437, then you're up here and you're using FM looking for contacts as well. Both of them can be on at the same exact time. Both of them can be operated independently. They both are dual receive full time. Now, also with this comes, what I didn't mention, is DV mode. Yes, you can do D-Star on this radio. So now you can have your sideband on UHF down here, like this, and you can have your D-Star on your FM up top. A D-Star on VHF rather. Okay? Different filtering can be adjusted for each one. Filter 1, filter 2, filter 3. So filter 1 looks to be 15 kilohertz wide, filter 2 is 10 kilohertz wide, filter 3 is 7 kilohertz wide. Now, another cool thing with having both of these receivers is, because this radio will actually do satellite. It has a button up here on the menu for satellite. This puts you right into sideband mode, but it can be configured for any mode here. And you have the ability to use to set for your Doppler shift, or to set just your subband down here for your downlink, and your band up here for your uplink, like this, main band and subband. Okay, it makes satellite work a breeze. And guys, I'm out of touch when it comes to satellites. I haven't worked satellites in a few years. There's a lot of new ones out there, and this radio gets you right in there as you're talking on the uplink, full duplex. You're hearing yourself on the downlink. That's what a perfect satellite radio does. And that's what this has right here. So we'll go take out a satellite mode. That's a quick feature. If we go into menu here, you'll see buttons that are familiar to a 7300. Also, you see 2 pages. You have page 1, and then you have page 2, where you have other stuff for your digital D-Star functionality here for your DV set and all that. A GPS function, so you can get an external GPS plugs in the back. But if you're at home most of the time with this, you might not need GPS, but maybe you're really an enthusiast on D-Star and you want to have this mobile, well, you can get a GPS for that, so you have your GPS location on Reflector 30 Charlie. So, going back into the menu here, we'll go to page 1 and start there. Scope and audio functions, you've seen those on the 7300 many times. Just by tapping on scope, I can turn the scope on to the band here, and I'll have a waterfall. When I connect the antenna, I'll show you what it looks like. And you can set the waterfall parameters to really dig out those weak signals. You also have an audio scope here. So now you can see your transmitted and received audio on here. Adjust it by different divisions of time, slower, faster, wider, and also your bandwidth here. So that makes it really, really good, easy and efficient to work weak signals and dig them out of the noise. Okay, let's go back here into the menu. So the meter function, you have the ability to look at all your stuff here. You have your S meter, your ALC, your compression, your SWR, the current drain down here, your temperature, and your voltage. Noise blanker here. Put that back in sideband mode here. We'll go to notch, so automatic notch there. You can set that up. You can hold notch filter and set the position and the width. You also have a noise blanker here. You can turn that on. You can hold the noise blanker and change the attributes of this one as well. Noise reduction, you can hold that, turn on the noise reduction, or you can turn them all off. You also have a preamp here. You hold it, it's an attenuator, takes out those rough signals. But what's all that DSP good for? EME moon bounce. That's right, satellite and moon bounce. I haven't shown you yet, but I have an EME moon bounce. I think it's a 32 element UHF antenna outside. And I will be doing moon bounce with this radio as well as some satellite work. But this makes it, with the scope and the DSP and filtering and all the noise reduction, makes it really, really easy to knock out that noise, find that weak signal, and make that contact. Some people are really, really big into weak signal modes. This right here is a game changer. So we'll go here to the menu. We'll go back into page 2. And this is some of your stuff for D-Star. So first we'll go back into D-Star mode like this. Go in here on page 2 and you have your receive, where you can set up your, like the 5100 and 51A. You have your UR and your RPT1, RPT2, your call sign to put in here. And a lot of that's going to be the same as your ID 5100 if you have a D-Star radio, or your 4100 and stuff. A lot of D-Star attributes, okay? So this also has DV gateway. So it's got terminal mode and access point mode. I have never got into those yet, but I know that the 4100 and I think the Icom 51A plus 2 also has those two modes, the terminal mode and access point mode. So we'll go here. For the vision impaired, they always ask me, does it have a speech readout? Actually, yes it does. So we're going to demonstrate that real quick. Pushing the speech button.
F0145.78 megahertz dB.
So it tells you, for those who are vision impaired that watch my channel, what frequency you're on. So if it's hard to see, it does have that ability for there. Now let's give a shout out to John here. I've used him several times to get a little radio report here on film for you. But I told him the 9700 was coming. I just haven't told him when. So I'm going to call for him. Got the beam facing his way on VHF here. I'm at 50 watts. I'm going to see what happens. Here we go. You notice the scope here. KF4 PFI, KJ4 YZI. Are you there, John? He's there, I know it. I just don't know if he knows I'm going to call for him or not. Oh no, I can't hear him. I got to turn my beam. Hold on a second, John. Let me swing my beam a little bit. Over.
Real good.
Oh, there he is.
Over to the Omni. You're okay right now. I got you. Let me turn this scanner down.
Where'd you go, John? Is that any better, John? KJ4YZI.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. Right now, you're running about a 5.758, but you're still horizontal, right?
I am horizontal, sir. I don't know exactly the heading of my beam. I'm horizontal, so I leave it there for sideband, but you should be able to hear me. I just wanted to tell you that I am on the 9700 right now. Over.
All right. You are on the 9700. Very good. Very good. You probably have, was there any audio settings in that show? Did you mess with any of them?
I haven't even scratched the surface of this yet, man. I have to play, I want to play with the scope settings and play with all that. I was walking through the radio. I mean, it's very easy to use. It's very easy for me to be familiar with it because I have a 7300. But man, there's a lot more cool stuff in here that I haven't even approached yet, ever.
Yeah, Roger. All right, very good, very good. Well, dude, it sounds really clean. I mean, your audio is like you're sitting here in the room with me talking. It's real, real clean.
Hey man, do you have sideband or AM or any other mode on there for VHF?
Actually, I do. Let me switch radios. Over.
Yeah, I'll be on sideband, KJ4YZI. Now that'll be interesting. We'll see.
You're gonna go sideband here then, correct?
Well, let's go to 144.200.
Okay. Give me a minute or two. I'll meet you down there. KJ4YZI, KL4PL5.
KJ4YZI, QSY. So we're going to 144.200. That's usually the sideband calling frequency. Let's see if we can hear the sideband beacon, or the CW beacon up there in Orlando. That'd be interesting. There it is. Look, you can see it right on there. Look. Look at that. Now that's the 2-meter beacon for CW in Orlando. But now watch this. You see how I see that little tiny peak there? And I could actually adjust the reference a little bit to bring, you know, you can mess, when we're going to go through this in a whole nother video on messing with this scope, because this will make it a whole lot easier. Look, there he is. Okay, I'll go down here to John. He's probably waiting for me down here in sideband. KJ4YZI, listening. And you can notice because of the width of the signal.
This is KL4PL5. Now, I am on the vertical. Also, I may be a little bit off.
Yeah, you're off. Yeah, you're a little bit off. I could tune you in. Give me a 5 count.
Alrighty, 5, 4, 3, 2, and a 1. Now, I'm only running about 50 watts.
Yeah, I got you at about 144.199.82. Sounds pretty good. I guess I'm running close to 80 watts there, over.
Okay, real good, real good. Sounds good. Sounds good up here. I mean, again, now vertically versus the horizontal, but other than that, there's no preamp. I'll give you a signal.
All right, very good. Yeah, if you were horizontal, we tried that before. I think we were working each other on 5 watts beam to beam, but being as vertical versus horizontal, I get it. Yeah, but 80 watts currently, and I'm just, this radio is just amazing, man. I can't wait to go through it, play with all the different things, try some FT8 on 2 meters if it ever comes around when more people get it, AM and stuff like that, ever.
I got you 100%. Now I'm going to give you a 5x3, a 5x3. I got your audio is fantastic. Signal strength is where it's at because it is what it is. But with no preamp, I don't use a preamp, or at least I try not to anyway. I don't know if I can even use it on here on sideband. I guess I can.
Oh, here's somebody else in there, KJ4YZI. Well, hello, Ed. Are you horizontal or vertical? Okay, I could hear you. Nobody else can but me and John, but good to hear you in there. I'm talking to you on a 9700, sir.
My audio, I just got it set like halfway.
I see something else up here. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Oh, it's just birdies. Just birdies.
Good luck on the 9700. It looks like to be a nice radio.
Yeah, for sure. You know, but knowing me, I got to play with all these settings, man. There's so many little things, and you know, with the scope settings and the waterfall and all that stuff, you got to really get in there and play with it. You know, it's not terribly hard. It's just I like to grab stuff and go. And so far, I haven't even opened the manual yet. I was able to walk right through this thing and get exactly what I need. Then there's time to go further and play with other stuff. Over.
Yeah, I understand. Someday on your way home, you need to swing by here and play with my Russian MD1.
Yeah, that would be something interesting. I would like to check one of those out. And one day I'll have to swing by and do that.
Well, John, you're real strong up here. I don't know, what antenna are you on? The beam pointed south?
So John's got a little bit of an issue. John is at 144.200, but you can see where we're receiving him. Me and Ed are both at .88 here. But I'm going to save it for another video to show you about changing all the different scope settings. That's a whole nother video to really narrow it in when we get some other people on here. Make it interesting to show how a scope with an SDR can make it that much different. And EME. Again, when I do EME, this is going to be an EME Dream right here, Dream Radio. And that's coming soon, satellite work and all that. I won't hold you guys here. I know we're normally on FM, but I wanted to try it on sideband and see. I thought you had a horizontal still up, John, but very good either way. And I'll have to play with it some more. But Ed and John, I hope to work you tomorrow as the drive home proceeds. I'll let you guys get back to what you're doing. And I'll say 7-3, KJ4, YZI.
Have you guys already talked on 5.5 on FM already?
Roger.
No, I mean, if you run the 9700 on 55 on FM.
Yeah.
That's the yes, sir. Okay, how was the frequency between the two of you?
It sounded fine. We can go back to FM. I thought he sounded fine on FM.
All right, let's give it a whack. I like to test this 9100 anyway, and you would be a good test.
So he just got a 9100.
146.550 for a minute.
No, we just switch to FM. Go like this. You there, Ed? KJ4YZI. All right, so there's a lot I could show you on here. We're going to call it in a few minutes here. We'll go back into the menu one more time. Some of the other features that you may use, you can go into set here, and you can set up your tone controls for receive and transmit on different bands. So if you want to sound, let's say you're a little too bassy into your mic, you know, and people say, you know, you can turn down the bass on your transmit on sideband. So let's see, go back here to, nope, receive, transmit, sideband, and we go to, yeah, transmit, bass, treble, okay. Each individual mode here, DV, AM, sideband, also receive, okay. Your D-Star stuff is in here in the My Station. I can show you that in a whole nother video. Network, so that would be your IP address of the server. This is all settings of the server that's built into this radio for remote control. And also this radio will do, on D-Star, this radio will do high-speed data, 128 kilobits per second. That's like the ID1. You remember the ID1 came out? That was a big deal that you can have 128 kilobits a second on D-Star digital voice on 1.2 gigahertz. You can do that when you go up here to 1.2. Now look at this. Just looking at the screen here, and I could always put it in dual VFO. You know, I like having it just with one, but we'll do this here. I can go into the frequency here and change. You know, if I want to go up here to 1.2 gigahertz, boom, there I am. Okay, I don't have an antenna connected to there. I don't have an antenna at all. But then I can go right here to D-Star, and now I'm on 1.2 gig high-speed data on D-Star. Also moonbound, so you could use 1.2 gig on moonbound. So you could use it for microwave rovers. People that are big into microwave rovers, they have transverters to go from a 10-meter radio to 1.2 gig and stuff like that. It's all in this radio. A lot of stuff here that you can cover. A lot of stuff to manipulate your frequency or your waterfall here. You can see I was already starting to play with that, waterfall speed and all that stuff. This thing is packed full of packed full of features. So we're going to call this video first here as the introduction to the 9700 to show you what this thing's really about. And that is not just a dual band. It's not just a Bofeng. It is a very, very impressive radio, one that I'm going to be just using all the time, being excited on my desk next to or on top of my 7300. Look for more videos in the future because they are coming. 7-3 guys, thanks for watching. Thank you Gigaparts for being kind enough again to let me check this out on video, sending this to me to borrow it and to bring it to you guys on video. So big thanks to Gigaparts. And tell me in the comments below, because we're going to break these videos up, tell me what you want to see about this radio. Put it in the comments below. In the future videos, I'll try to address those situations in the comments. 7-3, thank you for watching. KJ4, YZI.